waiting for it.
Okay, let's start. So we have Manish with us, and he's working in Blue Smart, and we'll be doing like a original system design interview. It's gonna let's start with the introduction, and then we can go to the problem, and then problem Manish will start describing everything what happens in system design. As a newbie, he's also didn't have much experience giving system design, so we'll see what someone who has good experience in Android but doesn't have much experience in giving system design, and will able to understand what kind of stuff we are able to get out of it, and we can learn from it. At the end, I will give some points to Manish where he can maybe improve on it, right? Because it's a mock interview, definitely will help him out to improve on his system design interview process. Awesome. Let's start. So Manish, yeah, tell me about yourself, and then we can start with the system design.
So my name is Manish. I have done my graduation from GGS IPU. It's Delhi Government University. I have done my graduation in 2021. Basically, my journey for getting into Android development is pretty much interesting. So let me give a quick brief about my journey for Android development. I am from a EC background. So initial first year, I was more into microcontroller, microprocessors, and also Raspberry Pi and all. So basically, I was making a LFR for the college, college events and all. They have a LFR competitions, Robo Race, Robo War, and all. So I came into the one place where I want to make a Bluetooth car, and for that I have basically I had made a Bluetooth car with the SC05 and all, but I don't able to send a command by anything. So there is already one or two apps, but those are not as much good as it should be. So I started learning Java, and make basically after 2 or 3 months I somehow built it a app that able to give a command. Basically, he's giving a sky code of L for left, and R for right, and for forward for S, and for the back it's give B. So it's giving a sky code to the SC05, and it's turn the car left, right, and all. So that's a simple thing that app do. But yeah, it was a interesting journey for making that app. So after that, I get a interest into the Android development, and I do three internships: one in the MR Electromatic, Ujala Power System, and Tapin. And then after that, I figure out there's a few platform where I can work on. So I have worked on the Top Coder and the Upwork, and also there is a few freelancing platform, Gigzo, I have worked on, and I have made a 5+ apps, which is right now on Play Store, which is 0 to 1. And yeah, it was whole my college journey of Android app development. After that, I joined an academy as an Android developer in a platform team, where I had worked on the basically optimizing a build time, reducing the startup time, and basically building a design system, which is a basically custom UI toolkit for the an academy, which reduce their UI development time by the 40%. So I have worked on that project. So yeah, that is a pretty good project I have worked on the Unacademy. And after that, in 2023 I joined Blue Smart Mobility, which is a EV based ride hailing company. So they have in that I have worked on Hub app, Driver app, and Rider app. Right now I'm working in a Charge app, which is I have built from a 0 to 1. Charge app I have built from 0 to 1. Right now they are doing a 15 crore something transaction daily with that app. And it have a very less ANRs and all. So but yeah, I have also worked on the few design system here there. One design system for the client side, which names as Energize, and the second design system is the Blue Zenith, which is for the operation side design system. So it helps us to ship our experiment very faster.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Manish. I think it's a introduction part, and let's now jump to the system design directly.
Yeah.
Um, so let's have a topic of creating a chat application. Okay,
Okay.
and yeah, we have the chat application that we wanted to create. Let's start.
Cool. So I have few questions. So let's let first clarify the requirements. What requirement of chat application could be, right?
Hmm.
So one is the basically chat have a one to one chat or one to many.
Uh, for this, let's have one to one, and one to many would be out of scope for now.
Okay, cool. So we don't have a group chat for now, right?
No, no,
The second thing is the chat application can be something like only joined by the app, or is something which have a link generated and anyone can open in browser and they can put chat on that. Is
no,
it something like that?
no, no. Something like for now we are doing MVP. Let's
Okay.
not do the shared link for now.
Okay, cool. The second thing, we should have a notification for the chat.
Yes.
Okay, so we need a notification if any new message come, right?
Yeah.
This is come. Okay. The next thing is we need some authentication for part for the application, or is it something which is basically we have only one basically one button start chat and we will start doing chat with someone, or we should have a basically contact list where we can select a contact of that person and start chatting with them.
Yeah. The simple authentication with the one-on-one user. No, we can just select a contact, and we can start chatting.
Okay, so basically we don't have a authentication like a Google authentication or phone number authentication for the user.
For the user, yes, but to chat others, no authentication required. He can select on a contact and maybe send a message.
Okay, so one more thing, if someone which is not right now on the application,
Hmm.
right? So how they can send chat for him? So basically, we need to figure out if someone have downloaded the application, our application, and he is right now on application, then only we can chat, right?
Yes.
Okay,
For that case, for unavailable user,
okay,
the contact list will not
receive.
open a message box because it's not available on server.
Okay, cool. So we need authentication, auth auth for chatting, right?
Hmm.
Okay, next thing is in the chat we can share audio, video, or image, or it's a simple text.
Let's have a image as an attachment for now.
Okay, so we need to have a text, right?
Hmm.
And image,
Yes.
only two things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The other thing is okay, cool. uh okay, cool, makes sense. Okay, so let me do a free flow design for the chat. Then we can discuss it, ki how we can make this possible by the tech, right?
Sure.
So for example, first screen we have, oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, cool. So we have a application where we have a button which is login by Google. Okay, first thing is that, and after that we will land into the page where we will do we will take a certain permissions for getting read emails, right? for getting the access of internet and all, right? Sorry, not internet, camera and all. So yeah, we will have those here. And the other thing, we will have a add your contacts. Okay, so it will be a plus sign, right? So whenever he will add the contact, so we will go get into the screen uh where we will have a contact list, right? We will fetch his contact by the contact provider, right? And those contact will be fetched here. And if someone which is not on our platform with with their number, so I think authentication will be with their number, right? Number, because it is unique, right? Or it have a OTP authentication. So everyone have their number and their OTP, and they can enter into our application. And we will by the contact provider, we will check, okay, the same number we will got here, as we have into the database, right? We will either we have a two ways of doing it. One is the basically we share all the numbers to the database and get it okay, which numbers are on
Uh,
the platform.
okay, sorry to interrupt here. Can we first do high level designing? This content provider will go as a low level.
Okay.
Yeah, can we do the high level first?
Okay, cool. So in the yeah, sure. So for the high level designing, what we will have, uh, first we need a authentication system. Okay, auth authentication system. The second thing, we will have a chat, which is our core core component, which is our core operation, basically functioning of our app, right?
Mhm.
Or for the chat, we need basically, authenticated contacts, authenticated contact. Okay, I think. And after there is chat, we will have our logout system and accounts. Okay, cool. So for the let's discuss each component differently, right? First, let's discuss about the authentication part, ki how our authentication will work, right? Cool. So for the authentication, we will have our OTP base OTP based system. Okay. So it will have a simple base, which is basically we will have a one enter we will have a enter your mobile number. Okay. And then we will call a backend APIs, which is a basically send OTP, right? It will provide us the OTP of that person. And we will have a verify OTP. And once the verify OTP, we will store the token, and we will say and refresh token, and we will treat that customer as a logged in user. Okay, is it making sense?
Okay, can you tell me, okay, why, okay, why do we require this? Can you go to top diagram where we have authentication chat? No, not this one. Yeah, this one. And then
Mhm.
there is a, what is this? Selection.
Basically, we need a authenticated user. So once we don't have a authenticated user, how we can verify ki, okay, we can set up a socket between these user, right? So
Mhm.
without having authentication, we can't set up a socket, right, between the two users, isn't it?
Okay.
So we want for the chat, we need a authenticated user, right? So
Mm.
basically, it means that the user which is using our app.
How would you authenticate the other users?
Okay, so that is why I am saying we will have a OTP based system, right? Once the person send their mobile number, and we will verify it by the OTP. So we can consider that user. It is they have their our app, right? So we will have their unique customer IDs for
Hmm.
the for every user, right? And when we basically, when user is selecting the number from the contact list, we will do a one API call to backend. We set up a chat with that user, right? Whatever the API call it is, right? We will send he will tell us ki, okay, this user we have into the database or not. If he's not in the database, he will return it. This user is not here. Or we can set that user, we can have a pop-up, we can share it ki, okay, tell this user to come to the platform, so for using the chat benefit for this platform, right?
Okay, before going that, can we first code this authentication of a user who's using the application, right? Uh,
Yeah.
okay, what kind of protocol you are going to use to call the API?
Means, can you tell me one? Okay.
The network
So
protocol.
I will use a HTTP protocol, which is by using retrofit. So I will use REST API here for the authentication part. So it have a two APIs, I think. One is the basically send OTP,
Hmm.
okay, which will send the OTP to the user, right? And the second API is the verify OTP,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Once we have a two OTPs done, then we will treat that user as a login user,
Okay. Now we have
right?
authentication user, which is a current user, right?
Right.
Now, from contact, how are you getting the contact?
So for the contact, I will have a basically, contact resolver,
Hmm.
right? The contact resolver will be give us the contact, all the contacts of that is saved in his phone, right? Once he clicked on the each contact, any contact, right? We will get the number, and we will send that number to the backend, right? With the REST API call, right? And
Let's
we
say,
will send.
let's say if user didn't provide any permission to have the access of contact, then
Okay, so what we can do, we can have we can ask that user to give the permission. Once if he's not giving the permission, we have to block the user, right? Okay, we can't do. Or either we can have a, link based system where as the Google Meet do, right? You can have the you can mention the persons who want to join the meeting, right? Or either you can create a link, and by which link you both can join, right?
hmm.
So there's a two ways. One way is basically we can make a link, right? On this link we will create a temporary sessions for the user, right? And once he click on the link, they come into the chat wala section. Chat wala screen, that chat screen will open by the deep link, right? And by the chat they can start doing chat on the and that thing, and the session will expire after 1 day or 2 days.
How would you maintain that session, and how would you, yeah?
I think that session will maintain on the backend side, and that session will be basically, for example, you have clicked on the link, right? And I have to clicked on the link. So once the link is active, after 1 day the session will be expired, and that check will be on the backend side. So they will expire the last link tokens. Basically, they will break the socket,
Okay.
that user.
Okay.
Cool. Is it making sense?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, cool. So basically we have we already done the authentication part, right?
Mhm.
Then we will have a let's discuss about the chat, how our chat will work, right? So so chat, let's discuss about the requirement for the chat. One is the basically we send emails, text. Chat will be on double side call. Basically, the user can send or the person can send, right? So once a new message will got, we will trigger a push notification. for every new message. Once he click the message, we will get that user to the chat screen, right?
Okay.
The second thing which I can call, basically instead of having the basically image basically the image or photo request, a camera permission request on coming on the screen, I would like to suggest you to we can have that permission wala part on inside the chat once the person click to have a attachment, right? Because if we asking someone without say, giving the context, give us this permission, this is overwhelming for the user, right? So
Mm-hmm.
once he trying to use that feature, let's give that permission right here. So for the chat, I want to use a MVVM architecture. uh, Basically we have a model, view model, and view. So basically view is our chat screen where we want to type something or do something, right? That is our view, and the view model is the basically we view will give us the data which whatever message we have sent it or whatever we want to send, right? So it have a double communication. One is the basically view will send ki, okay, if something is written, we will request to send it to the server, and something is written by the some other user, we will get it by the view, right?
Yeah.
And it will show on the view. The second is the your model. So in the model we will have our repository, right?
Mm.
If we want to do any caching, it will be there, right? But I think there's a no need of caching here in the chat, because chat should be the real time, because you want a real time information, so I don't think so caching will be there, right? So let's remove this. Okay, cool. So the other option I want to ask, can one person uh, share the chat to to the second person? Is it we are planning for these kind of functionality or not?
No, make it out of scope for now. It's just MVP.
Okay, so we just want okay, we will have a chat. Anyone can send message and pictures, right?
Yeah, only text and images.
Cool. So whenever we do that will be the architecture for our application. Then for the REST APIs call, we will do by retrofit. I will do for the REST API call with the basically HTTP 3 library, right? For having
Why?
a
Why three?
HTTP 3 is for having the all the interceptors, whatever we want, right? To have a header and all. And HTTP, I think 3 is the faster as compared to the HTTP.
How faster? Can you give me something that makes difference between two and three?
I think 2 and 3. I sorry, I didn't able to recall that right now. But I basically I used to be with the 3, but I sorry, I'm not able to recall. But it is a faster, I have read somewhere,
Okay.
as compared to 3. 2, sorry. Yeah. So next thing is I think MVVM. Then this the for the image we will use Glide. So why we are using Glide? Glide is a basically help us to cache our images on the glide level caching, right?
Glide caching. Sorry. What is the
uh,
glide caching?
glide have a in uh, library itself do a caching
Hmm.
for images, right? And also we have a lot of transformation inside the glide. We can choose the the quality of image, how much quality we want to download, right? And it have a lot of other features loaded. So yeah, I am using glide here to.
Okay. How, from your perspective, what kind of resolution are we going to show to the user?
So basically, if we show very high resolution images on the chat application, it will create mess for the application, because some nowadays one image could be a 15 MB image, right? So it should be a very less resolutions. Like for example, we can reduce their image size by the 70% or 50%, or we can use a, WhatsApp compressor. There's a one compressor I have read on some blog, some by which WhatsApp compress their images and use that image, right? So it will help our application to, don't have a lot of memory blockage.
Hmm.
So it will not create a OM in that case, right?
Okay.
Cool. Then I think, next, what we need, I think we need a socket connection for the with the socket, because that is a one of main thing. Or I think I have read about the one of the Gojek have done the MQT protocol for the socket connection and all. They have that same protocol for the back end and for the front end also. They have a SDK of MQT or something. I'm not able to remember it, but yeah, it's better than the HTTP protocol socketing, right?
Sorry.
So
Uh, talk about socket or HTTP socket or MQTT. What's the difference between these three?
So the HTTP socket is the basically socket protocol where we do a two-way communications, right? The basically it is based on the observer pattern. So we can send something, and we can get something from there, right? So there is a two-way getting and sending something. It's kind of a Firebase live database. So as the Firebase live database do, basically, if something is updated on the node, you get observed on your uh, Firebase messaging, right? Sorry, Firebase object, right? You get you observe that field, right? And you get your information here, right? And so someone can go and update that information, right? So it's a kind of protocol by which you can send and receive the things.
Okay. And what about the others?
The same thing I think MQT protocol do, but it do in the better way. I think it have some mechanism of, basically having, I think it is a bit faster and efficient. But I have read, but I not able to recall, but it is better as compared to HTTP protocol.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So either we can do a HTTP protocol for, or we can have a polling. So but polling will not serve a good user experience in case of messaging. We can have a every second polling, but it will impact our system weirdly, right?
Yeah.
So we will go with the HTTP protocol sockets.
HTTP protocol sockets.
Yeah. So let me design our chat. So our chat have one one UI. This is view, correct? And then our view will communicate with the view model. Okay. And our view model will communicate with the repos, or it have our socket, our REST APIs, and it will have our REST APIs and socket inside the inside the repository, right? And the same thing, the reverse communication can be done, the between the views and view and view model. uh, and is it good enough to have this high level design? Can we move to the low level?
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay, cool. So for the low level one, I think for our chat, one thing we need a contact resolver, verse, and it will help us to get the contacts from the contact list, and we can send that to the backend, right? With that number, and backend will check into the DB if this number is registered for with us or not, or it's a online or offline, right? We can send the message, right?
Are you going to send all the contact?
No, no, we are not going to send all the contact. We will send only that contact which is user is selected. If this contact is not able to not able to this contact is not able to find ki, okay, this is not in the DB, we will give a pop up to say, like WhatsApp do, ki invite that person in that platform so that you can have a chat.
So you will wait the user while user click on the contact, is it?
Yeah, or once the user click on the contact, then only we can able to tell, right? Otherwise we have to send the whole contact to the backend, which is not good in terms of user perspective.
Hmm.
We can't save any user contact list to our DB.
Okay.
And it will also cost lot of loading time, and basically some person can have a lack of contacts. So it will cost a lot to get all the list and send to the DB. It will cost a lot of loading time on the screen.
Hmm.
So I think we will send that to the backend, and backend will give us the, okay, this is on the right now our user or not. If it not user, we will send it the invitation link. Okay, okay, you can tell that user to download the app from the Play Store and get registered. Then you can able to
Yeah,
chat.
we can
Otherwise,
move ahead on this one.
sorry.
Yeah, we can move ahead. We have already discussed this requirement, right?
Okay, cool. The other thing is basically we can have a link, a link. So by the link you can create a link, right? And by the creating link, you can just click on the link, or by the deep link we will open the same session activity,
Hmm.
right? And you can in your chat you will get a, okay, you have created a link, or by the clicking the link you will end up into the same session, and by which you can start doing chatting with us without setting the number.
Okay.
That can be a one feature for the user who don't want to share their numbers with each other. Making sense?
What? Sorry, can you repeat on this one?
So basically that will help the user in case of someone don't want to give their contact permission, and some other person don't want to basically don't want to don't want to give don't want to know ki, okay, someone have on this app or not. We can have the links wala part, right? By the link they can both can join and have a quick chat, temporary chat session.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing is basically now let's go into the chat wala part. So once we done with the authentication, we will always move to the chat wala part, or we can have a inside the backend we can have a list of users which we have recently chat, right? So we can have that list, and we can have their different IDs of each session. So we can give the backend ki, okay, we are sending something for this session, right? uh, is it making sense?
You are okay. You are sending chat to backend, right?
Yeah.
And
So,
then
so for example, I'm talking about this screen, uh, where where you will get the all the recent chats.
Okay.
So so on the recent chat, you need to send the backend. Okay, what kind of recent chat we have done. So every backend have the stores of every user and their chats, the recent chats IDs. Basically, every session have their chat IDs, right? And on the chat, we can call one API of recent chat, and they will provide us the recent chat we have done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once the user click on the chat, we will call the backend, tell us ki, okay, someone want to do chat with that session, and they can start the socket for that session, and we can start doing chat with each other. Is
Okay.
it making sense?
Yeah. So we describe why we use socket.
Mm-hmm.
How would you perform this socket? Like, what things we required in like sockets implementation in Android?
uh I think for the socket implementation, I don't have lot of knowledge in that. In socket wala part, I have to read the thing, ki how socket work internally. But I can read and implement, but I haven't implemented till now. Uh, I have used Firebase live database for implementing chat. So
Okay.
not till now didn't implement it.
So for now, let's replace the socket from Firebase.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Uh, which you said would work as a same principle or as the same functionality as the socket, right?
Hmm.
So first of all, let's explain me what is the Firebase this chat part, right?
Okay.
And then maybe you can explain the implementation of it.
Yeah, sure. So Firebase Live Database will help us to create a node into the Firebase, and which can be lively readed by the by the Android device, right? If we have the same, we are pointing the same node, we will get the notification of the node, right? Whatever get updated on the node, right? So that is our Firebase Live Database, and which is working same as a chat. You can go and update, you can do CRUD operation with the node, whatever node is created on the Firebase. So that's a simple thing our Firebase is. So we will have first we will have a chat, right? A chat node. In the chat we will have a session, the sorry the customer ID, or the session ID, which we have got from backend, right? The each session, I as I already told, the recent chat have a every session have a session IDs, right? So we will have a session ID here.
Are we creating a schema?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So and after the session ID, we will have the nodes of chat, right? So every user have their keys have their user ID, and in the values they have a text or
What is the session ID is for?
URL. The session ID is given by backend for the each chatting sessions. For example, I am chatting with you. They will create a session ID in backend, and they will provide us.
Okay.
So yeah, and the user I whenever we are storing the chat into the database, it is in format of key value pair.
Mhm.
So in the keys we will have a user ID, and in the values we will have a text, and or the URL, right? Both will be the string, right? So we will get the URL in case of image, or in case of text we will have a text. Is
Why
it
we have user ID as a image
so
URL or
so
text?
we are having a user ID here because, for example, for the one session can have a multiple chats, right? The
Hmm.
use Each user ID can have their node, right? So we can create a multiple nodes inside one session. Are you getting me?
But
What why I
you,
am giving a user ID? User ID is for, let's suppose, how I can understand. I have written that message, or you have written that message.
but you say user ID is a key, right? Not as a value.
Sorry,
You said user ID as a key, right? Not as a value.
user ID as a key, not as a value. For Yeah, yeah, user ID as a key. It's not as a value. Yes. So value will be the whatever text you have sent it.
Oh, so you will get user ID from backend, and you will
Yeah,
put the user ID value here,
yeah,
and
and
that user ID value would be the text or image URL. Is it?
right, right,
Okay. So session ID will have list of this box user ID and its value. Is it?
right, right. It is like
Okay.
and basically, if you have a you are chatting, you have a different user ID, I have a different user ID, I can make the call for showing the UI on the basis of user ID. Okay, which is the you are the current user and someone is the different user, we can make the call from there, right? Is it
Okay.
making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. uh, then this will be the Firebase schema. Then whatever whenever a user came, right, we will call the basically one API, which is a get recent chat. Okay, in case of recent chat, they will
But
give us a
Manish,
list which
see,
have a session
uh,
ID.
Manish, okay.
Mhm.
For a second, you said you will have a list of user ID, right?
Yeah,
Can you tell me how would you sort it? Because there is no sorting I can do, I can perform on this, right? Because you have not provided any extra properties to make the sorting.
yeah.
How would you sort it out that which is the latest chat or the which is the different chat?
Yeah, got it. uh, Basically, chat in case of chat, we have a LIFO model, right? The basically last chat user want to see first.
Right. Yes.
So basically, first we want to chat, we want to see that chat which is came into the last one, right? So in that case, I think we have to store whole thing into the list, and we have to add that into the list, and we can do, I think we can do that sorting on the front end level. But
How?
uh, we can basically we will get the list of user ID and the text URL, right?
Mhm.
Whenever the session ID node is updated, right?
Mhm.
So whenever it get updated, we will store it in on the front end side list, and into the list we will basically, whenever you do the adding the node, it's stack, it's stored in the form of stacks.
Right. But like we are not sure that it will be the latest one, then it will be the last in the database, right? Firebase can change their way of storing the the values, right?
I don't think so.
Why?
Basically, Firebase always stack the user IDs instead of basically changing the format. They don't change the sequence.
How will they know that this is the new one and then we have to put it on top? Like let's say if I refresh it again. So
Mhm,
first of all, when you send a data to a Firebase, right,
mhm.
and it gets stored in the database, right? But
Right.
if I refresh it, how would the Firebase node knows that this is the latest and this is the last one? Because there is no extra metadata you provided, right?
Okay. Uh, okay. So
Maybe they can from Firebase they must be populating this list based on the string values, maybe A B C on the top and the first numbers, then A B C D, like that. They could be like this, right? Because it's not your database, right? They can save on their own way.
okay. But I have used it with the Firebase, but I don't get that kind of use case where Firebase is basically manipulating the database by basically I always get the things in stack, in form of stack, instead of it having into the different whenever I click, whenever I refresh, I get the same format of database, instead of basically getting different manner. But yeah, we can do it by having a, creating the node and having a one more thing, which is a basically message data inside the user id. We can store two things. One is a basically date and time, and the text, right? By the date and time we can sort it.
Okay.
Is it making sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, we can have that on the basis of date and time. Once we add the date and time, the sorting will be easier on front end side, right? We can get the first 50 text, which is from today to last 10 days, and then we can scroll it. But yeah, I think the solution is not will be more usable, scalable. For that case, we have to switch into the http protocol, so that we can tell, first we can get the a chat in the pagination format. And once we send the chat, we get the chat, we will use the socket for that. But yeah, for the first whenever the user get into the chat section, we get the information, like last chat, right? the there can be a tons of information in for the last chat. For the last chat, we can get it from the from or we can get it from the backend in the pagination list format, right? uh
Like, okay.
okay.
So first of all, you're saying that would the Firebase send all the data to the device
So
before that?
basically, what I'm thinking of, we will use two things. One is basically, if new user came, right, he want to send the chat and get the chat, that will be done by the Firebase database. We will read the node, right? For in case of user already have done the chats for the upcoming session, we will hit the API of backend, and they will give us the paginated list, which have basically all the chat last chats.
Okay. So how would the backend would communicate with Firebase database? Because this is two different. Firebase is
Yeah,
a third party, right?
yeah.
And backend will be your own, I'm assuming.
So basically, I am giving backend to the session ID of that chat, right? So by fire backend can go integrate with the Firebase. I have done that integration in the Blue Smart Charts app, where basically backend send the data to the node, and we read the data from Firebase node, instead of having a socket, because socket needs some time to implement in the backend. But we need to think sorry, we need that feature faster, so we used Firebase real time database there.
So from front-end side, how would you combine the Firebase and backend database together?
So in front end side, what we will do, we will basically have uh, we will have a one past chat kind of API. We will do that call, and we will use a pagination, right? The pagination will help us to load only that data which is needed, right? So basically, we will send the session ID to the backend, and backend will fetch all the data which is on the that session for the stored in the Firebase, and it's give us to the backend, sorry, front end. So yeah, it is doable. But yeah, we can do that there, right?
Yes, but how would you combine? Like you're
Yeah.
saying the
So once we will, so for example, once we will start sending the chat, and someone send the chat, it will update that node, right? So whenever we got the update, we will add that item into the list, paginated list, and it will reflect it in the UI. Is
So
it making sense?
no, one second. So you will be getting. So what would be your like single source of truth? Either it is a database, or is it backend, or you
So
are saying that if I add something in my chat,
mhm.
I'll first update backend and then call and get the pagination data. How would it be?
No, it will be like we will have a single source of truth backend. Backend will hit Firebase to update their node, right? And I will only get from the Firebase node for that real time purpose, right? And the once basically the system will act like that. For example, first time when user come, right, then
Mhm.
first time it will come, then it will do basically get last message API, right? Message API. He will call this messaging API, which is a paginated list. It will return, right? And we will show it on the screen. Okay, these are the messages you have got it, right?
Mhm.
And once the user send it, or something uh, got added into that session wala, whenever this session is getting updated,
Mhm.
right? So we will locally maintain a list, the paginated list we got here, right? And we will add that thing into the list in the first place, when the adding the list on the first place, and it will reflect on the UI. Is it making sense?
Okay. Okay. Hmm. How would I know that this is a new message, like from other
Sorry.
user? How would I know like if it's a new message from other user? If you are getting it
So
from back.
basically, whenever you or me is basically sending the message, so we will send it to the backend, right? Backend API. We will call the backend API here, right? What backend API will do? Backend API will update this node, and say, and also he want to add into his database, he can do. But yeah, he will the main thing he will do is basically update this node, Firebase node.
So you are doing WebSocket and I assuming REST API call to both. So it's a
Yeah,
two
yeah,
APIs call.
yeah.
What
So
would it won't it affect if we have large number of user, like if we have 100 million user,
mhm.
affect the backend?
No, basically, I have put it this wrapper here because if we do any kind of transformation, or if we do any kind of sorting here, or if we want to, do any kind of changing into the format of data, we can easily do by the backend. So that is why I am putting that backend wrapper between the Firebase and the user sending the message. So
The
I
problem,
want to put that
okay, I'm
fabric.
getting the point of updating or having a latest message. The point here is
Mhm.
for the Firebase, it's like a two-way or bi-directional communication, right?
Right,
And for backend, it's a kind of HTTP REST API request, which is a one time, right?
right.
Let's say if there is some issue from the backend side,
Hmm.
it has what kind of fallback we have to think, right? You didn't Can you mention on that one as well, because we have to mention it as well, correct?
So basically, I think we can have a we can put the backend into the option. Basically, we can hit the backend, but yeah, if backend is giving 500 or something, so we can tell the user to either we can tell the user something went wrong, or something mishappening is going on, right? Or we can tell the user ki okay, you can or we can make a second funnel which is only hitting the Firebase.
Okay, I think that's all for now. I think it's a time already more than 45 minutes.
Yeah.
uh yeah, let's wrap up it now. Do you have any questions on this one?
uh, Basically, I have the questions regarding basically about the system. Is it something where basically we can improve on the http protocol by the http protocol. But I think Firebase we have chosen because we want a MVP, right? And also the http protocol, I have don't explored it till now, but yeah, I can explore and do that thing. So do you have any suggestions of using some other thing which makes things better?
Uh, so first of all, you must have a knowledge of different network protocol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which protocol perform what, and based on the advantage disadvantage, you should first discuss on that one. So many companies use, so we have basically TCP, IP, and UDP, right? So many companies use UDP, and they have created their own protocols on the top of UDP, uh, so that because it's a faster one. Also, they add handshaking in UDP so that packet would not get missed, right? So companies like Uber, they have their own kind of protocol, so we can maybe discuss on that one. Why we definitely will go on the UDP part, uh, and use bi-directional communication on that protocol. So both, and from sender and receiver should do bi-directional communication once it get handshake, right? It should not be HTTP. So yeah, we can check on UDP what kind of protocol we need and what kind of data we are sending over protocol. Either if it's an image, like do you want it to send it, or because if you use UDP, you must have to have some packets which can be a larger size, right?
Yeah.
Talk about something like MQTT, they have multiple and bidirectional, but they cannot have large payload when they are sending, right? So we have
Yeah.
to work on that one. WebSockets are also one of the good part that you can use to send over the data, but still it's not that scalable if you go to the 100 million user to 1 billion user.
Got it. The other question I have regarding the organization, but yeah, I think we can leave. This is a mock interview, so we can leave that question.
Okay, awesome. I think this was good. Let's maybe I have few, like this is not good to be honest, but still I have few things to discuss. That we can do. Okay, I have few feedback starting from the introduction to everything.
Mm-hmm.
We start. So from feedback, what I have is, I think you take too much time on feed. Oh, sorry, feedback is mine part. Introduction part. So on introduction, I think you take too much time. You don't have to talk about your college life, right? It's an interview and system design interview. Definitely. Now, if I see the timing, it's around 1 hour. Okay. So if
Okay.
you took initially 5 minutes or 6 minutes of the introduction, it's gonna be in your loss. Okay, it's not the part of interviewer, because interview is a very limited time get allotted by the company, that you should have 45 minutes call or 60 minutes call to interview. They will not give you one extra minute. So just use 2 minutes only, try to provide a call your experience in 2 minutes, and that's it. Because they have their resume. They don't need to know about your college life, what you did there, right? Not achievements. All your achievement must be in your resume so they can go through it. Just talk about your experience, and that's it. You just wanted to show them your potential in the system design, not in your past experience, because this is your interview, right? So that's the first part. Okay, 2 minutes is enough, more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now starting from the requirement set, you should have, I think, asked more questions, like how many users we are building for, right? Because it's a chat application. Definitely, what kind of user base you are thinking? Are you going thinking of 10 million, 20 million, maybe 100 million, right? This is
Okay.
like non-operational kind of thing. You ask functional questions like what kind of features, but this is a non-functional, like to the requirement side, right? Are we going to put any country restriction, like let's say in future India has turned off their side, we have to have some kind of system like this? Do we want something, or are we building to some specific country like North America, South America, like this side, this kind of stuff? Like I'm saying that you could ask more questions on non-functional side as well.
Okay.
Okay, that's on the requirement. And apart from the requirement, yeah, okay, it was good. Then we talk about first, without anything, you just talking about stuff on the system design, but you should first of all go with the high level and then low level. This is a standard approach to go in system design. So high level just give idea to what you will be providing as a solution in terms of maybe architecture, in terms of the high level design, that okay, this is the backend and we are going to have this protocol and we are talking to him, and how, what's the advantage, how you're going to implement it. It's going to be in low level. Okay.
Okay.
So you ask, so once I interrupted you regarding let's talk about high level, you started on a high level, but you included low level stuff, okay, which is like permissions. And if you talk about yeah, also out of scope question, you also put it in a requirement. So as I said in the requirements that deep link and shared link is out of bound here.
Okay.
We just want to want no other shared linking to others. If it's not there, we are going to show a dialog card that this is not available.
Okay.
So like, you should have kept in mind the requirements. So the, if you don't remember the requirements, try to have requirements on top so that you keep looking at the requirements and
Okay.
out of scope. Okay, because if you put out of scope in your design part when you're designing high level or low level, it's not good because it's already defined in a out of scope section.
Okay.
In low level, again in low level, I didn't, in high and low I didn't see a proper structure how you are passing data and what are the classes in the low level. And high level also there is no diagram so that I can visualize your thinking, right? If you can make me visualize what you are thinking, that would be much better than talking, right? You can say okay, this is how things are flowing from here to here.
Okay.
uh, Again in low level, you should have saying that okay, if we have added the attachment of images, do we need any specific resolution, or like I can do image optimization based on maybe some algorithm like WhatsApp algorithm. I have to like perform this part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Few key points, like if it's something like, if you talk about low level, just go low level. So just read the requirement very quickly. Okay, we have attachment. Okay, we need text does not need any kind of optimization. Okay, image does need. Now you can talk, ask this question. So this becomes a requirement for the interviewer. Now interviewer will explain, okay, yeah, this is good. No proper knowledge of, I think, network part,
Mm-hmm.
like HTTP 3 and 2. If you don't have knowledge why you are using HTTP 3, first of all, this is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can say I need to research. We are currently, if it's because it's an MVP, right? You don't have to go optimization too much. You can just use HTTP 2 if you have knowledge of HTTP 2.
Mm-hmm.
But make sure you do have a knowledge of HTTP 2,
Okay.
because I can ask in what's the difference between HTTP 1 and 2.
Okay.
Okay. Then same caching. You said about caching as well, right? Glide.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You should also knowledge about how a little knowledge about how caching works in Glide, and is it a disk level caching or is it a RAM level caching? If I remove the app, does the caching still there?
No, I think it will not there.
It
In
is
case
it is a RAM level or application level caching then.
it's a application level casing, right?
Yes, that you should like mention this one. This part was got missed. I
Okay.
I said about the caching.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Again, the socket, there's no HTTP WebSockets, and the other part, WebSocket is a protocol. Okay, HTTP has the HTTP polling
Okay.
from this. Okay,
Okay.
so learn about network protocols
Mm-hmm.
so that you get the idea of different protocols. MQTT, you talk about MQTT. MQTT is a protocol with a very low payload. Okay, it doesn't have high payload.
Okay.
If you want to send a small data, like Raspberry Pi uses MQTT. Do you know why? Because Raspberry Pi does not have a much payload to take. It's a very less payload it can take, correct?
Okay.
So that's why it's a faster, definitely, because if you have smaller packets, it's going to move faster. If you have larger packet, it definitely take time.
Okay, so it is built on top of WebSocket only, right?
Yeah, sorry.
It is built on top of WebSocket.
Yeah, you could say, but it's very low on the payload size.
Okay,
Small text it can send.
okay,
Okay. You can send high payload, but not what use. Again, the protocol part, and then also don't, so requirement user contact. Yeah. Also, you talk about user contact, right? You said when we click on the users, we will create a link, and then user will see on the session side. My question is like, do not assume anything. Just ask if it's a requirement or not.
okay.
Like, stick to the requirements. What is the requirement?
Mm-hmm.
Do not make any assumption that we can click on this and this will happen and then we are going to implement like this. Just
Mm,
ask if it's a requirement, and if it says no, it's not a requirement, out of the scope, put it back in out of scope. That selecting a user contact.
okay.
Okay. So again, low level having a high level kind of thing. Like a high level should not have low level, and low level should not have high level stuff. So
Got you.
schema making is a problem you might have also understand, right? You just provide a one field, but you should have more field. Like for sorting date, definitely we require a date in a chat,
Mm-hmm.
right? These kind of stuff. Also, you can say last message in a chat. What is the last message? Right. So few extra properties that can help you, and also to scale the database.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not the least is very complex Firebase database and backend you make at the end. It was like I could not understand like what really you wanted to do. You are doing to call and then merging it and WebSockets to HTTP. Like it's
Okay.
not understandable from my side. So we
Mm,
make system design to make other team member understand what you are, how you are going to build the feature or a project.
okay.
It was very complex to understand, like last part, which was you're using two backends. See, if you are saying that Firebase would not do like you said, like it will store in stack, right? You are 100% sure, but
Mm-hmm.
again, this is not your product. It's third
Mm-hmm.
party, right? It can be changed in future.
Mm,
Do not,
right.
whenever is something comes as a third party, do not rely or be 100% sure that it is going to same as is it for now, right? So create your own solution based on third party can change in future, and try not to rely on the Firebase side. Yeah, that's it, I think, from my side.
Okay, cool.
Hope you have some few findings. Enjoy
Yes,
a little
it's,
bit.
I think मेरे को सबसे ज़्यादा उस पे काम करना है. I think recording close हो, right?
No, just few more minutes, then we can close.
Okay, so yeah, I think I got a few things. Like I have to read uh, a few application designing things so
Hmm.
that we can I have a more insight about how I can design these kind of applications. And basically I have to basically basically if you don't have designed something which is like chat, so you have to basically thinking on that thing in particular in quick time. It will be quite difficult.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's needs some more brainstorming on these kind of stuff. Like someone don't have designed a video player or something, so going basically there is a lot of research need to do before designing the player, because you have to read about the web artists or something, or video streaming, how the video streaming done, how the packets will come, so
Hmm.
that because if, you can't have a experience of designing everything, right?
Correct,
So
but Manish, see, if you have a high level designing good, so make high level. If you don't have understanding of different protocol that you are going to use,
yeah.
do it like we are going to use something like a bidirectional call, both in.
Okay.
Okay, and then explain in lower. And maybe if you don't know, maybe you can discuss about few things if you know, and if you don't know, you can just say I'm not sure on this one, but for now I'm going to use WebSockets. But at least your high level is a plus point for you that you know how to design a high level part.
Got it.
You
Yeah,
can figure out low
it's
level
making
later.
sense. So basically, I have to design. I should design basically how the dependency will
Yes,
manage, how the attachment will go by the
mm,
dependency, how basically if some image came, then how the dependency will go to image loader
yes,
or something, that class of component, right?
correct. And then in the lower, you can say, okay, this is the image. Now we can think about if you want some optimization,
Uh,
and then we can use this
so
library.
I basically mixed up the two thing, low
Yes,
level and high level. It's create less bit mesh.
correct, correct.
Yeah, got it.
Awesome. I think that's it. I think it was really fun session doing with Manish, and we'll do much more later. We both are not much more experienced in the system design. So for now, this is it, and we'll do more in the future on multiple different applications from TikTok, from others like YouTube as well. So that's all. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Manish, for
Yeah,
staying
thank you
in.
so much.
Thank you.